The stars outside looked like tiny pinpricks of light against the endless black of space. Daniel Park sat quietly, his hands bound by what the aliens called quantum restraints. They weren't particularly comfortable, but he had been in worse situations. The ship that carried him was massive. Its smooth, silver walls curved in ways that hurt Daniel's eyes if he stared too long. Everything seemed designed to be perfect, too perfect. Nothing like the messy, practical human technology he was used to. 2 days earlier, Daniel had been on a routine cargo run near the Orion periphery. His small transport ship, loaded with rare minerals and medical supplies, had been intercepted by a sleek Eldoran warship. The attack was swift and calculated. Within minutes, his ship's defenses were disabled, and boarding parties had stormed inside. Daniel remembered the moment clearly. The Eldoran soldiers moved like shadows, their metallic skin shifting colors to match the ship's interior. They spoke in a language that sounded like musical wind chimes, their translator devices converting their speech into sharp, precise English. "Human cargo transporter," the lead soldier had announced. "You are in restricted space. Prepare for immediate detention and interrogation." He hadn't resisted. Resistance would have been pointless. Daniel was many things. A cargo pilot, a former military communications specialist, and someone who understood the value of patience. Fighting would solve nothing. Now he sat in a holding cell that was both uncomfortable and strangely luxurious. The walls changed colors subtly, responding to his body temperature and mood. Soft humming sounds filled the space, designed to keep prisoners calm and compliant. The Eldoran Interstellar Council had a reputation. They were known for their advanced interrogation techniques, their ability to extract information from any species in the galaxy. Entire civilizations had crumbled under their psychological probing. Entire species had revealed their deepest secrets within hours of capture. They clearly had not met many humans. Daniel's background was not typical. Before becoming a cargo pilot, he had worked in military communication systems. He understood networks, psychology, and most importantly, how to protect information. His training had prepared him for scenarios far more complex than this. The cell door opened with a soft, musical chime. A tall, slender being entered. Daho, the lead interrogator. His skin was a pale blue, with intricate silver patterns that seemed to move and change as he walked. Multiple eyes, some looking forward, some to the sides, studied Daniel with intense curiosity. "Daniel Park," Daho spoke, his voice smooth and calculated. "You will be transferred to our primary interrogation facility. We will learn everything about your mission, your species, and your intentions." Daniel looked up, a small smile playing on his lips. "Sure," he said simply. What the Eldarans didn't know was that Daniel was about to give them a lesson they would never forget. Humans had a way of surprising those who underestimated them. And this was going to be one of those times. The interrogation room was nothing like Daniel had expected. It wasn't dark or scary. Instead, it was bright and clean, with walls that seemed to breathe and shimmer. Soft blue light pulsed around the edges, creating a calm but unsettling atmosphere. Daho sat across from him, flanked by 2 other alien specialists. Ju, a younger interrogator with deep green skin and long, delicate fingers, watched carefully from the side. Advanced machines hummed around them, their sensors locked onto Daniel. "We will begin," Daho announced, "by accessing your most recent memories." A thin beam of light stretched out from a device on the table. It looked almost like a silver thread, moving slowly towards Daniel's head. Most prisoners would have panicked. Most would have tried to move away or beg for mercy. Daniel didn't move. The light touched his forehead. Immediately, the room filled with holographic displays. Fragments of memories began to appear. A cargo ship, star maps, communication logs. But something was different. The images seemed to twist and change, never quite showing what the Eldarans wanted to see. Jiwoo leaned forward, confusion marking her features. "The memory projection is unstable," she whispered to Dio. Daniel knew exactly what he was doing. His military training had taught him more than just communication protocols. He had learned mental techniques that allowed him to redirect and scramble psychological probes. Each time the alien technology tried to dig deeper, he would shift his mental focus, creating a maze of false memories and confusing signals. "Tell us about your cargo," Daho demanded. His multiple eyes blinked in a complex pattern that suggested frustration. "Just medical supplies and minerals," Daniel replied casually. His voice was calm, almost friendly. The interrogators exchanged glances. Humans were supposed to be simple creatures, emotional, easy to read, quick to break under pressure. But Daniel was proving to be something entirely different. Jiwoo activated another device. Thin tendrils of energy began to map Daniel's brain patterns. They were designed to break down mental barriers, to expose hidden thoughts and memories. In every previous interrogation, these devices had worked perfectly. Not this time. Instead of revealing secrets, the device seemed to become confused. The energy tendrils twisted and turned, creating complex patterns that made no sense. It was as if Daniel's mind was actively playing with the technology, turning the interrogation into a bizarre game. "Impossible," Jiwoo muttered. Daho's skin changed color, a sign of extreme stress among his species. The interrogation was not going as planned. Hours passed. Multiple techniques were attempted. Neural scanners, emotional resonance probes, quantum memory extractors. Nothing worked. Daniel just sat there, occasionally smiling. The Eldurans were discovering a fundamental truth about humans. They weren't just another species to be studied or controlled. They were something else entirely, adaptable, resilient, and far more complex than any galactic database could explain. And Daniel Park was about to teach them a lesson they would never forget. Something changed on the fourth day of interrogation. Daho realized he was no longer questioning Daniel. Daniel was questioning him. It started small. Simple questions that seemed innocent. "How long have your people used these interrogation methods?" Daniel would ask. Or, "Interesting technology. Where did you develop these neural scanners?" Jiwoo noticed it first. The human wasn't resisting anymore. He was studying them. During one session, Daniel began explaining human history. He talked about survival, not just physical survival, but mental survival. He described how humans had overcome ice ages, world wars, technological revolutions, and environmental challenges. Each story was a lesson, each example a subtle demonstration of human adaptability. "Interesting thing about humans," Daniel said casually, "we don't just survive. We learn. We adapt." The interrogation room's advanced systems began to malfunction. Holographic displays flickered. Sensor arrays twisted their data streams. It was as if Daniel's very presence was disrupting their technology. Daho's skin changed colors rapidly, a sign of extreme emotional distress among his species. He had interrogated hundreds of alien species. Thousands of prisoners had broken under his techniques. But this human was different. Jiwoo watched in growing amazement. The human wasn't fighting. He wasn't hiding information. He was actually teaching them something. Daniel explained psychological resilience in ways the Eldurans had never considered. He described how humans train their minds to be flexible, to turn challenges into opportunities. He spoke about mental techniques that transformed obstacles into learning experiences. "Your technology looks for fixed patterns," Daniel explained. "Humans don't have fixed patterns. We change. We grow." The interrogation had completely reversed. Now the Eldurans were the ones being studied. Daniel was collecting information about them, about their culture, their technology, their thought processes. Daho realized something terrifying. They weren't breaking the human was breaking them. On the fifth day, the decision came from the highest levels of the Eldoran Interstellar Council. Daniel Park would be released. But more importantly, a full report would be filed. A report that would change how the galaxy viewed humans forever. The report was simple but shocking. Humans are not just another species to be categorized or controlled. They are an adaptive, intelligent life form that defies current xenobiological understanding. Extreme caution is recommended in any future interactions. When they released Daniel, he simply smiled, shook their hands, and walked away. The Eldarin Interstellar Council would never be the same again. Humans had entered the galactic stage, and they were nothing like anyone expected.